Can't wait for Yuzu to read the Dispatch comics. Okay, I have to admit that I unfortunately have read the Dispatch comics offline because I don't know whether or not it is okay to read those comics on stream. I mean, technically it is in the game, right? But then also it's like deluxe, and then also it's not, it's like comics, and like comics generally are not allowed to be read on stream, like comics and books. So like I didn't know what the rules were. I did message the developers on Twitter and then try to email them and see if I don't know if they're gonna respond or not, but I did ask if I can do that on stream. Cause like I know it's part of a game, but like because it's comics and it's like paid DLC, like paid comics, I don't know like the stance on that. Like generally you can stream that stuff because like, you know, it's like if you were to play Dark Souls and you buy the DLC, you can stream that stuff, but like it's not like gameplay, you know, it's like a real comic. It's like actual comics that you would pay for. So I don't know. I better ask than get clapped with a copyright strike. Yeah. So besides, the comics weren't really even, they weren't that long. They weren't really super big. The one thing about the comics, the one that I feel like was the most important, maybe me being biased because I freaking love Blonde Blazer, but I think the one that was like really, really important that I feel like should have been an in-game interaction or like an in-game scene that would have developed the character a little more was Blonde Blazer, because a lot of people in Dispatch, or a lot of people that played the game, or a lot of people that are following the Dispatch and all of the episodes and watching all the scenes and the in-game stuff, I think the general reception of Blonde Blazer, a lot of people just don't like her or feel like she's the lesser option, or that she's like red flags, or she's just giving really weird vibes overall. But I think the comic really explains her character a little bit more, and I think it was like kind of really sucky that it was part of the comics instead of being actually in the game, because like her in the comics, Blonde Blazer, the reason why she is the way she is, like by the books, super formal, superhero, like model superhero, she's just like the perfect person. The reason why she's like that is because Phenomenon, her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, when she was with him, not even just Phenomenon, but like she's literally the superhero. Like she's very like popular and famous with like the general public of that universe. Like they love her, and she has paparazzi, and like people take pictures of her, and they freaking love her. And she's like a power duo with Phenomenon. But Phenomenon, because she's in a more personal relationship with him, and they were together, they were like goals for everyone. And also Phenomenon only really seen her and only really loved her as Blonde Blazer. He never loved her as Mandy, her true self. He never really expressed his desire or want for Mandy. He's always expressed his desire and dreams to be with Blonde Blazer. And that's what ultimately led her to make the decision that she doesn't want to be with him anymore, because he will never see her as herself. He will never see her as like Mandy. And she will always have to be this perfect person, this perfect Blonde Blazer who everyone idolizes and is like the perfect superhero to everyone. And she's like the manager of the entire like Dispatch company, and she's just like has to be this perfect person. She's just kind of conditioned in a way to be what everyone thinks she wants everyone for her to be. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but like she just seems so off because of that. And I think the comic explains that really well. And I think because the comics are the only way to see that part of her, it kind of ruins her character in game. Because unless you're getting the deluxe edition, or unless you're seeking out that content, you're not really seeing her true character. If you picked Phenomenon to join the team. There's a cutscene. He's watching old clips of him and Blonde Blazer fighting together. He only wants to see superhero and not the girl. I think you get that both ways because Yuzu saw that too, picking Water Boy. Did I see that? I'm not sure if I saw that. Maybe I did. Actually, I think I did. I bet Phenomenon poses to himself in the mirror every morning. Yeah, I think we did see that actually. Yeah. She's kind of faced to maintain that superhero image. Yeah. I think naturally people gravitate towards Invisigal because she's more involved and more relatable in a sense because she's more like humanized. But I think the reason why Blonde Blazer is not as popular is because she's just like this perfect person, right? She's just portrayed as this perfect person, this formal corporate slave. And she's just trying to be like the best she could possibly be because like everyone sees her that way. And I think the reason why I chose Blonde Blazer is because whenever she has scenes with Robert, it humanizes her in a sense. And it makes her feel more approachable every time they have those soft scenes. And that's why I like seeing her like come out of her shell and be more loose and be more like her, be more Mandy. So I'm hoping that like in the future episodes we get to see more of that. But yeah, I get why people gravitate towards Invisigal because she's like the one that's always in your face. Girl, you were literally drooling over Blonde Blazer before all that lore. Well, I mean, yeah, I always had that affection towards Blonde Blazer. I always had that affection towards her. I'm not like saying I never did, but I'm just trying to like say that the comics added so much depth to her character that you wouldn't normally see unless you had bought the deluxe edition for the comics. Like you wouldn't see that part of her. And I think that's what's really important to her character and what should have been already available in game. People pointed out that she doesn't jealously watch Robert and Vizzy if they dance together, but it's like she's a mature adult. Yeah, I noticed that too because we watched, I think, or actually I watched the other scene offline with how the house party ended up with if you chose Invisigal, and I noticed that Blonde Blazer, she's just totally okay. She's not jealous at all. She's just like dancing in the background, having the time of her life. But anytime a character, if you choose Invisigal, anytime a character gets close to Robert, she gets really upset. Like, not even at Blonde Blazer, she even gets upset at Malevola. Like Invisigal, I feel like is just like obsessed and immature, and she's just like not really. I don't know. I feel like I just love the mature vibes from Blonde Blazer, and Invisigal might be a little too impulsive and immature for me. Like Invisigal is very clingy, and the more I learn and the more I think about the characters and the scenes we've had and the interactions we have, I realize that I'm more solidified in my decision towards Blonde Blazer, and it sucks. It sucks because like I'll watch like videos of like people going through the game, or I'll watch streamers going through the game, and like there's people criticizing Blonde Blazer, or like people being like, oh, you chose the shitty option, oh, this is like you have shit taste. I'm like, so you would rather have the immature child that's pushing 30 rather than the mature woman who owns this, or who is like managing this entire company, and she's like trying to be herself around the person that she loves. Some people like different things. I'm not saying it's wrong to like different things. I'm saying it's shitty. It's shitty for others when I'm like trying to explain why Blonde Blazer is not the red flag you think she is, even though initially I did say she had like red flags in the beginning. I'm trying to explain that because like her character, there's so much more to her character with the comic that I've read. But like when people say like, oh, you have shitty taste, that's the wrong choice. Invisigal's better. Like that's the problem, you know? Like everyone has their different tastes, you know? But I think like the issue is the context that we have been given in the game is not all there. We don't have the entire story yet, you know? Just skip the women and go for the men, if only. What if Blonde Blazer turns evil? That could be said about everyone, though. We don't even know if anyone in the team is actually even evil. That's just like a fan theory at this point. We don't even know. Also, having nuanced combos on the internet is rare. Yeah, and I really liked the idea, or I really liked having those conversations after the episodes, or after like each big thing that happened. And I think like if you have the opportunity to read the comics, or if you have like the money to spend to buy the comics and like read that, it gives a lot of background to many of the characters. And I think if they're gonna lock part of Blonde Blazer's personality and character development behind comics, they might do that to other characters as well that you feel like deserve more development and more spotlight behind comics. But I think it just sucks that one of the main interests is in that situation, you know, because the game kind of pushes you in the direction of going towards Invisigal because it feels more natural.